Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we are again. Welcome to today's edition of the Closing Acumen on this Monday. Uh, we are happy to see you. We thank every one of you for joining us. Today, we're going to have an interactive conversation. What I mean is that we're going to try to have you guys come in, probably put the link in the chat room, and then put the link up, and then but we'll probably need somebody from the CDC and the UP, if possible, the CPP to come up so we can have a conversation tonight as we talk about the runner election schedule. I believe it's November 8th. I'm not sure at the time. I believe it's in November, but I'm not sure. But we want to have an interactive conversation. We want to bring you on. We want you to come up and tell us what you think, who you going to be voting, and why you voting for this person in the second round. Why you think your candidates will be able to put it off in the second round. So if you are from the UP and CPP and CDC and you want to come up, just hit me up and we'll bring it on. We'd like to welcome Bill Pay, uh, Thompson B. Boss, watching from Sydney, Australia, and Edward Anderson, uh, uh, as well. He's watching from Virginia, Monrovia. Winifred, how you doing, dear? Uh, I know we are back. I mean, the other folks, Tomalin is getting ready to head back to the U.S. as early as tomorrow. Keff is in DZ. He's really busy. Jim Ben had traveled to Kentucky this weekend to be there with his son at the Louisiana State University with his son. So we're looking forward to a very smooth and interactive conversation here today. We have some guest panelists that will be joining us pretty soon. So we will send that link to them, and then they will be joining us. But I want to talk about what's been happening lately. I want to also talk about the second round, what people think of the second round, and who's going to pull this off. You know, we have some folks. Let me tell you, my friend, my brother Edwin Kra. He's watching from Delaware, one of our diehard supporters. When you Frank Bruce see you, I need to come and swallow some of that Duma. Maybe this weekend I'll be at the program in Maryland. Jose Snare, he's also watching from Dwazern, Gibby County, and Doc Basson Tia is watching from Louisville, Kentucky. Veronica Sikpa is watching from Philadelphia. Welcome, Veronica. So today we want to have a conversation. We want you to let us know what you think. We can, if you want to, we'll bring you on for like 2 or 3 minutes, and then you can come on if you want to talk about this. On what you think of the second round or uh, what's going to happen. But it's good to see you, our friend Veronica, uh, Bills and Pay, Jose, and all of you guys. We're looking forward to having a great conversation tonight. Let me see what I can bring on some of guests, our guest panelists. Let me see. Let me just put the link here. Bear with me as I put the link in and see if they're going to come in and chime in here tonight. Folks, would like to apologize. I know many of you have been complaining that we've been off. We've been off for a while, and we travel, and most of our men travel, so that's one of the reasons. But I'm glad. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be back in full swing. So bear with us. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be back. Yeah, in the full swing. Where's my brother Duke? Benedict Gada. It's also watching our friend Gamen Giflor from Atlanta. is also watching. Jefferson B. Saki from Painesville District number 3 is also watching as well. So as you join the show, what we ask of you is to just click the share button. Just share it. Just share. We've been out for a while, so a lot of folks have been concerned and they're not sure whether we're coming back on or going to come on. Yes, we are coming back on. So if you join us, Edwin Crew, I just asked a question: what's happened to the criminal empire? And we look over here, jeez. It's a hot G's. It's a hot G's. Seriously, it's a hot G's. But yes, guys, it's good to see you. Please share the link. Uh, why the GA viewer has dropped drastically? Yeah, because we were not on for a while. We were out when we traveled. I was in Liberia for almost 2 weeks. Too many was there, and so we're off for a while. So definitely you'll see our viewership drop. But hopefully, we've been inviting folks. They're going to be able to come back on. Kete Tabagi from Baltimore City. Welcome, brother. Welcome. We are here. So today we want to have a very interactive conversation. Lawrence Carson Nima Jackson. He's watching from Scandinavia. All right, bro. Thank you for watching. So as I said earlier, if you are interested in coming on the show, I'd like to hear from you, the viewers. We can send you the link. We can put the link in, and you're going to come in maybe for 1 or 2 minutes, and you're going to tell us why, what you think your candidate, how you think your candidate is going to do in the next round, the second round. So if you want to come up, we'll definitely send you a link, and so that you can come up and share with us. We want to hear you. We want to speak to you, the viewers, and let us know what is going on. But I mean, interestingly, folks, it's been very interesting. A lot of things have been happening the last few days. We've seen a lot happening uh, 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 in Liberia. We're seeing medias. We're seeing folks, new faces that are coming to the Senate. And the House of Representatives. We have seen other folks that left. We have faces like Thomas Yaya Newman. He's going to be the new senator for Grand County. Of course, Prince Johnson from Nima County. Monique Walker, you want to join the show? That's interesting. Yeah, Monique, I can definitely send the link, Monique, so you can come on. Check your inbox, Monique. I'm going to send that to you so that you can come on, Monique, and come talk to us. All right, come and get some. Yeah, Monique, I'll send you the link right now. We have Tony Davis Stewart. He's filing from the AU headquarters in Addis Ababa. Uh, I don't know about that. Somebody said if I'm going to come to TLC soon. I don't know. This show is open to anybody. Anybody who wants to come can also come on. Uh, Lee G's, not easy. Okay, I'm not going to get into that, G's. We just want to make sure we have a good show. Lawrence Carson Nima, you want to come on? If you want to. Let me see how I can get that to you. How I can get that to you. Maybe Arthur, if you are in the back, will you send the link to Lawrence Carson Nima so we can begin the show? Monique Walker, I believe I sent you the link. You should receive it in your inbox, your Facebook inbox, and all you have to do, just click on it, and you will come, and then I will bring you on the show so we can talk about it. I want to hear from you guys today. Uh, all right, Chanel King. Okay, Chanel, not going there. Lofa, Lofa, you're not coming on. You better come on, Lofa Junior. You're telling me I'm alone today. Uh, Come on, Lofa Junior, come on, and we got yeah. So we actually, please share the link. We have been off for a while now, so folks. Tina C. Elliott, how you doing, Tina? We've been off for a while, so hopefully some of you kind of lost hope that we will not come back anytime soon, but we are coming back. Most of our panelists have traveled. Keff is in DC at this time. Tony is heading back to the States tomorrow. Shema Ben was in Louisiana this week, so uh, we it's just been crazy. So I'm just here to fill in the gap, but we want to have a great conversation. We have about an hour 40 minutes. We want to start. So Monique, do you have the link already? Uh, what Evan Cry? What did you say? You said so you have selected a group invited to you and well, anyway, I'm not going there. Yeah, G's today. We're talking serious thing here. We're talking serious thing about the Liberian people election that is coming up, and we want to make sure that our people have an input in this election. Like I was saying, we have some new senators that will be coming. I want you, some of you, come and talk about this. These new folk that are going into the Senate and the House. Some of them are offices. We got Prince Johnson going there. We got Weston got Finley. He's going back. He was elected again, former president pro tem of the Liberian Senate. He was reelected. He's going back. And then we have what they call him, who gained his famous name, the famous KK. I mean CK. Anybody can tell me what I mean by CK? Read it underneath. If I mean CKK. It calls CKK. CKK. Anybody can tell me what CKK means. The letter C, letter K, and the letter K. Anybody can guess that. That ain't neat. It's called CKK. And he's going back to be a senator as well. And there's some new faces. There's some new faces. I want you to come in and tell me what you think. What you think. About these our new senators. One of our good friend. Did not make it. Representative Akash Gray. Uh, he did not make it. So we're looking forward to that. Monique, check your email. You should have the link. There's Monique Walker. Anybody else want to come on? Hey guys, I'm not going to read all those things. I'm not. So you guys who want to cause trouble, I'm not getting into the G's or nobody here. Fagon, Stanton, they're all my friends, and I wish them all the best. But so we are talking about 2 more weeks for the runoff between the Unity Party and the Congress for Democratic Change. Okay, Sylvester is coming on. I see him in the back. Let me just bring Sylvester on right away. Sylvester, it's so good to see you. Welcome, man. Welcome on this to the Monday's edition. Guys, please share the show. We are also on Truth FM and we are on Hot FM as well. Please share the show. Please share it. As you click, just click share. We love having you. We love to be Sylvester. Good to see you, man. Happy Monday.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Peabody. Thank you. It's also good to see you. I see you back, back on base.
Yeah, I've been back on base for a few days now. And still
Yeah.
trying to regroup myself. So it's good to be back. What's happening in Monrovia, Sylvester? How is the campaign going? How's it going, you
No, we all stay waiting for the National Election Commission.
guys?
The commission with come up. Hopefully, we are all anticipating results tomorrow. We are not yet clear if it's going to be the final result from the October 10th elections, but yeah, we are hopeful because as per their as per the laws of this country, the election commission got 15 days to announce the final results. So we are all basically anticipating
Okay.
result tomorrow. If that is out, then the election, of course, then campaign will resume for the round of activities, hopefully after the final announcement of the results. But by and large, the city is very quiet.
Mm.
Businesses are now doing very well. I visited some were in sync to the banks are now very engaged. People are now going about very normal business. Going through the daily Rigo, the marketers are engaged with the market activities, and the young boys are engaged with those activities. All the professionals are engaged, and the governance process is on course, and the country is back on course. I anticipated. This is the country that we all have, so we need to do everything to protect the country. So, but the democracy is structurally on course. And as per moving around, the traffic now is coming back all over the place in
Mm.
Monrovia and the suburbs community and the rest of that. So yes, Waterside is doing fantastic. Rela is okay. As a matter of fact, I drove today through coming from the Mount Barkley side because I went to see my project in the 14 Gorbachev Market area.
Okay.
I mean, there's a very huge traffic lit this evening. After I left the radio station, I was on 2 FM today on State of the Nation with Christopher Salif, looking at some of
Okay.
the process. So I mean, the city is peaceful, and we are anticipating the final results, basically coming out tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow from the National Election Commission.
Okay. Okay. So, what do you what do you expect? So that's that. I know you support the ruling CDC. How do you think you guys did though? How did you guys do?
Oh yes, as anticipated, I'm one of those that believe that the president contested all his records, and basically we are moving to this election with the processes of what the government have done, the commitment and all of that. And again, that's the labyrinth political process. Sometimes certain things are very unpredictable. So the unpredictability aspect of these elections are very clear, and it's clear that we were moving into the process about a roundup and the rest of that. So we needed to understand clearly that with the process again, Dr. Peabody was deeply polarized.
Mm.
So due to that and the proliferations of a lot of political institutions and candidates, independent, both 20 candidates in the race, and the two major political institutions were battling over major counties area and the rest of that. So with what the results are now interpreting, it seems to be clearly that I would say we likely to move. This is the next because currently we got almost 98% of the results
Mm.
announced, and the two major political institutions parties they are all around the 43%. So you don't have to wait for a scientist or mathematician to come and say to you that no one's going to get the 50 plus one. So it is not clear, sufficiently clear rather, that we're moving to a runoff elections, something that hopefully will be announced tomorrow. But what I'm pleased about is that the ruling establishment president we are, I'm convinced, going to tap the numbers moving to the runoff. But I'm convinced, what I'm happy about, that the performance was okay. We just needed to work on some of those areas that we believe that can change the numbers and get the job done. But I expected the opposition to win very heavily in Moserado, something that didn't happen because the point is that Moserado is always an opposition home terrain. When President Weah and the CDC coalition spent time in opposition, they won much of rather handily, bigly, and the rest of that. But currently, the numbers just 2,000, little over 2,000 votes. So to say to you that the ruling is not, because this is the macrocosm of the political activities in this country, right? So we have all of the slum community, all of the universities, all of the intellectuals, all of the marketeers, and the rest of that. So it's usually the epicenter of politics in this country. So to see that the government perform this way, and again, the Southeast, we were very clinical in the Southeast, very clinical in the Southeast. Also in Bond County, we won Bond County by almost 10,000 votes difference. That's a good number, right? So we try to onside to juxtapose the number that came from both Lofa and that of Nimba because Ambassador Boaka won very convincingly in Nimba County, right? And also, but one of the shocking things, and I predicted this at the Peabody, I said that we were, and I was a little mindful because myself from Lofa, right? Those of us that are campaigning against Ambassador Boakai from Lufa, we do understand the terrain very well. We understand the diversity, we understand the tradition and the politics. And I predicted, I said, if the president were to hit anywhere near 30%, that's an extraordinary performance. And of course, the president did that, right? So to get the number we got, the last time statistically, the last time the number we got from Lofa in 2017 was just a little over 7,000 votes in 2017.
Mhm.
This time around, the president got around 45,000 votes. So the last performance was almost 76.5% percentage point like we got in, the president got in Lofa County. Now that has changed.
Okay.
So they're saying to you in some cases so that we can get the job done and go happy. Now we have to do some change of tactics and engagement methodology in bombing and Kidmount. Bombing Kidmount out of Papur, we can change the numbers there and get the job done. And the good thing about it, this second phase is going to be absolute simple majority. It's not going to be an absolute majority. So just a vote. That the Peabody alone vote can can make the difference, right? So that's part of the mobilization process. We need to remobilize our base and send those messages to them to get them prepared for this process and moving across the line, get involved with what I refer to as the Dual Witness kind of a campaign. And that's a campaign that we have to move from door to door, from community to community, from county to county, and from school to school. Probably we have to do the engagement process and be very steadfast about it. And we have to be very innovative about it. We have to reach out. We have to extend hands of friendship and the rest of that to everybody. Everybody is invited on board to ensure that this process is done, and we have to start the process of negotiating with those that we believe that can get this job and done. Because now it's important that we begin the process of moving around. And I will say this to you openly. I call my former boss man, the former foreign minister of the Republic of Liberia, someone as I enjoy serving as the foreign minister. I spoke to him. I congratulated him, right? So we have some level of something. I'm inclined. We all talking. Nothing has happened yet, but again, I believe that he will share the sentiments to come back, and we all get collectively can work and get things done. I'm very hopeful that we're going to get this engage. I mean, this engagement process spread out, and we all going to reach out. You have to reach out to someone. If I know Dr. Peabody, I know he's on the other side. I will extend to him the call of friendship. And I said, Dr. Peabody, this is the time that we all need to get this job done. And that's it. That's the kind of a rapprochement that we need to build, moving to this kind of a very major process that we have in our country. It's a very consequential elections. It is the process that determines the coordination process of the democracy. It's what I'm going to say to people that Liberia is very key on that. And the president emphasized it the last time that part of our democratic credential is that we have to move and protect the credential. So we will have to engage, and we are engaging. Good. And my information, I don't know, I can give you detail of it. My information is that even the chief executive of the republic is also engaged and going to move to get the job done. It's unfortunate that we didn't get it on the first ballot, but I'm sure we can now pull it and bingo and get it on the second ballot. I think you muted.
Yeah, I was talking about the senatorial seat in Montreal County. You guys did not win. I mean, you guys did not win the presidency, but you have a senator like Sargis who won by almost 400,000 almost 400,000 votes. Uh,
Mhm.
what was he winning at a very high number? Why you think the CDC did not get that on the presidential level? Why?
Uh,
What went wrong? Because they voted for Sa overwhelmingly. Uh, uh,
yes,
you know,
yes. So when I made my debut into politics, in 2005, then a very young, just hit the University of Liberia. This my first major task was part of the process that we engaged to run the campaign for Sumo Coupe in Lofa. Now, we were very strategic. We deployed different kind of political strategies, and part of the process was to also the inclusive methodology campaign that we would carry out. Now, the senatorial or representative Sir Joseph, and I will say this clearly, that's my personal perspective. Sir Joseph work he did during the Ebola time pay off for him this time extraordinarily, Dr. Peabody. There were folks from the United Party that did not vote for President Weah, but voted for Sir Joseph. I mean, it's part of the reason that he's engaged in a lot of activities in the county. It doesn't mean that he's 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 popular than the chief executive or so. But again, the reason why he got so much vote in Monserrato here is because of he cut across. So this issue about the bipartisan role that he benefited from across the aisle in terms of the political process. So to folks from the CPP voted for him, folks from the CDC unanimously voted for him, folks from the UP voted for him, folks from across the different political institutions came down to voted for Sir Joseph. I think it's because of his 2014 record and what he went through before in this country that got him Sir huge amount of votes. So, but yes, but again, my anticipation I was with the way the governing party performed here, that was a huge shock to me because the record is there. We time to time we have to go and try to juxtapose the record, right? If you want to find out from the process is that there's been no opposition, a ruling party that have won Mosurado. Mosurado. The CDC always defeated the Unity Party yet in terms of a very huge margin. It was very shocking to me to see the numbers very small and very competitive. Maserati even turned to a battleground terrain and something like I was very shocked to see the performance of the president. But again, yes, we can, and that's part of the reason why Sir Joseph himself on the campaign trail again. I think he went to Todi to tell the people thank you, and then there are some things that didn't work in some places for us. How do we move on to change the narrative? So he's now moving also on part of the issue of getting engaged with the campaign process. And we all are going to get engaged with it. We're going to change the line. We're going to see where we didn't do some things that match up for us. And so, so there's no issue about the coordination process. We have to be very steadfast. We can do that issue of the coordination aspect, and that we have to remobilize our base how we have to get the process and get a more deep sense of chemistry building. We need to build the chemistry with the base and ensure that that chemistry that we'll build with the base will spread our tentacles throughout the 15 political subdivision. It's kind of a huge political process. There's no room for subterfuge. Absolutely no room for that. It's about time that we all engage in the process. There's no shenanigans. It's time that there's no backstabbing processes yet. That we have to now engage. Those of us are students of international relations and politics, we will have to engage. Have those of us students of negotiation, we have, and that's the time of negotiation. That's having to be students of negotiation because we deploy all our skills, all of our maneuvering tactics, and the rest of it, and get support from all the sides, and have some discussion with folks. We have to give and take. And part of the give and take process is where he, as a leader and as a governing establishment, that's why you are the governing establishment. You can take some serious move and now we're not. I don't want to use the word we're going to co-opt people. No, the intent is not to co-opt folks, but the intent is to appeal to their sentiments, to say to them, "This is what I believe that we can do," and there are some things that slack out. And how do we repair them? and absorb most of those lines. So we need to deploy some skills in that area that can absorb it. Somehow would base ourselves as shock absorbers, absorb those things, absorb the necessary thing, fix something, repair something, get some things together, and move to get a job done. But I think yes, we can get it on a second ballot. This time around, we can get it and get the country running again.
Well, good to see you, Lofa Juniors, and good to see Mr. Russell as well. Welcome again to the Coaching Acumen. Lofa, you just came in. Let me ask you this question. We talking about opposition unity. You think you, I mean, you supported the CPP, right? Am I right? Yep.
Yeah, well, not really. More of an independent, but I believe
Okay,
that
more of an independent. Okay, but
right.
now we all over you hear the opposition now talking about opposition unity, opposition unity. I want to go back to this question. I think I did ask this last week. Uh, do you believe the UP is reaching out? Is this the the right time? I know they're in the second round. Obviously, they're trying to reach out, but what kind of message should they be putting out there in terms of opposition unity? What kind of
Well, good evening. And again, great to be back on here. I see it appears that Sylvester Kim already got the gloves on and they got the feet on the ground running and doing everything. Hopefully this time around he's in Lo-Fi County and making a case in our local Loma. Hopefully he's speaking Loma to the people out there and making a case. And again, yeah, Mr. Russell, welcome to as well. Good to see you on here. But the issue of opposition unity. This is something that a lot of us spoke about from the very beginning of the CPP saga, the court case, the the character assassination of one of their own, their refusal to strategize based on messaging and try to unite the opposition from the very beginning, understanding that they were going against the ruling establishment, the CDC that have been in power for 6 years or that would have been in power for 6 years. And it's not an easy thing, especially for African president to just turn over power like that. Not that it can happen, but it's not an easy thing. So what some of us expected were that, the opposition would have been much more united. And considering that the Unity Party, who at that point would consider herself the the biggest political party, and of course claim to have the number with the expectation of moving to the second round. I thought that their strategy would have been to unite the opposition so that whichever way the coin falls, they will benefit from that sympathy of the opposition bloc because now they will be looking at other political party to join them in the fight against the CDC. Unfortunately, the Unity Party strategy was the complete opposite. They fought almost everyone, okay, that's in the opposition. They went at tier one. They modified. They started with the ANC. They started to attack the ANC. Then the ANC went at it. It became a complete, disaster. And it didn't stay with the ANC. It became a complete disaster with the fight between the Unity Party and that of the CPP. Now, one thing that they did not take into consideration was the fact that the CPP wasn't simply one political party, that is ANC. The CPP at the time comprised of two political parties that came together and were working under one umbrella. So their attack were consistently and continuously against that merger. Now, after all of these things, you cannot simply come out and say, hey, with all of the bad blood, all of the attack against one political party, political leader, and everything else when we won against some of these things, and there were people calling other people names. You cannot simply jump overnight and claim that position as you're now the goddess or you're the god of patriotism. So everybody just supposed to jump in and ride with you because you are now at the forefront of it. I don't think that is going to work. It's not going to work well for them when they're looking for opposition support. You may try to make the case that, look, yeah, we are of the opposition bloc, but the opposition is not mere statement. Okay, opposition unity is based on ideologies. Opposition unity is based on one's performance. Looking at the previous records of these political parties, if you were to follow some of the messages that were actually out there, okay, there were times where members of the opposition bloc consider the unity party to not be a part of the opposition. Okay, when opposition political parties were mentioned, it was either Tier 1, Clarence Moneybar, and that of the CPP. And they did not consider the unity party because the ego, the arrogance on the part of the unity party. And when we say these things very often, they don't like us for saying it. But yes, that is the reality. The entitlement, that entitlement syndrome that they ran around with, thinking that they're entitled to the presidency and nothing else. If they're not the only political party to ascend to that position, then nobody else should be there. And that was the same mentality that the political leader of the Unity Party ran on. There were several occasions where Honorable Boycott was questioned, okay, in one or two of the interviews that he appeared on as to whether he would support any party that actually merges to the second round from the opposition bloc. He refused to even answer that question. As a matter of fact, every time that question was posed to him, he literally just stepped on it and would not even acknowledge that there were other political party members or there were political leaders in the process as well. Unlike Mr. Alexander Cummings, who said openly on several occasions, whoever makes it to the second round, I will support them because we are an opposition bloc. But unfortunately, for the Unity Party, they refuse and consistently remain disrespectful to their opposition colleagues. And I don't see it being that easy for one to just simply open up their arms and say, okay, we are back here with their messages that they think that they can easily run with. So, oh, you know what? For the sake of Liberia, you should have thought about that for the sake of Liberia and make sure that the CPP remain as a merger so that the CPP could stay together if you sincerely believe at the time that this was about Liberia. But at that point, I mean, I'll start here right now and we will continue to follow through. But I don't see it being any easy for the Unity Party to honestly form a merger with other opposition political party. Does that necessarily mean that partisans from other opposition political parties are not going to cast their votes for the Unity Party? No, they probably will do it because some of these people are independent in their thoughts, like myself and yourself as well. But to say that it's just going to be an easy walk through the park that like they expect it to happen, unfortunately, that is not going to be the case.
Mr. Russell, you've been following the discussion. What do you think? On the opposition?
You know, as we've been saying, you know, over and over, and you know, like my brother Julius just said, and once again, it's great to be on here again. Thanks, Dr. Peabody and Julius. It's always have fun being on here and discussing the issues and all of that. So I'm pretty excited and glad to be a part of you all today. But as we've been saying over and over, and as my brother just alluded to, this is not going to be a walk in the park. This is not going to be anything easy. Can it be done? Yeah, for sure. It can be done. Like we've been saying over and over, and we'll say again, that the opposition must pitch an alliance for the ordinary people.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
It seemed like, is that mine? Okay. Mr. Russell,
can you hear me?
Yeah, I
we
can hear you now. I was off on it. Yeah.
So it cannot just be okay. We are against the we are against the CDC. Right? This alliance, this coalition that we're putting together is just about the CDC. They have to be able to articulate to the people that this alliance that we are forming, that we're putting together, this is for the people. This is for the ordinary. This is for the ordinary people, and the Unity Party must offer a realistic policy narrative with a vision for the country that will resonate with the voters. So and it can be done, but they have to get off the hard horses. They have to put behind them the level of arrogance that some of them have, and that this is going to be a walk in the park. Oh, we have this and all of that. I like Vice President Boyka. I think he will make a great leader. He supported me. I'm a lawyer person. I support him, but to be objective and looking at all of the tea leaves, this is not going to be something easy, and it's not just about let's go there and the people are going to come because they're so disgusted and they're so disenchanted with the CDC. It is not going to be that easy, so they have to put forth a vision that includes, and have to articulate to the people that this vision and this coalition that they were trying to build, it is for them, and is at the end of the day is there to seek their interest, and to ensure that they were trying to do right by the people. That's what I think.
Yeah, but we are seeing, like anyway, I don't really pay attention much to social media, but if you look there, you see people talking about, oh, we don't need 1%, we don't need this. I mean, coming from strong UP folks, stuff like that, writing on a Facebook page, or 1% will not do any good, and this is not going to happen. Do you believe that Vice President Boyka should be coming up with a different reconciliatory message at this time, in terms of bringing the opposition together, because something that he hasn't done even prior to the election. He's not been out there to calm the storm even when things are happening. I think he have not made any remark. So what kind of message should the VP be saying? Let's start with you, RG.
So, here's the thing, right? And this is part of the reason why I have problem with the leadership style of Honorable Boycott, and I felt like he have failed himself and of course his political party on many level when it comes to taking on the message. Okay, a lot of the followers will not follow suit. But when the leader exhibits some level of true understanding of leadership, there will be times where others will follow through. Unfortunately, I have not sensed that. I have not seen it. Okay. Honorable Boycott on numerous occasions had the opportunity to send that unifying message across the opposition line to say, look, guys, this is not about a specific political party. This is about unifying Liberia. And this is part of the reason why I'm always concerned about the ability of Honorable Boycott to unify Liberia. As it is often seen and heard, one start to exhibit true leadership from the classroom, in the home, and then it goes out to your community and at the national level. Honorable Boycott, again, on numerous occasions where things were completely taken out of control, completely out of hands, he sat back and said, well, let the coins just fall in place wherever it falls at, let it be. He did not speak up, neither did he mention. There are key members of the Unity Party who were out there bullying other political parties, and it's now falling in place to the extent where all over the social media, they are again continuously bullying other political parties based on their performance, okay, in the just ended election. Do you expect those people to simply take it and run with it and say no? I would expect Honorable Boycott to call his guys into order and say, look, guys, regardless of what percentage of the vote these opposition's political party members may have obtained, we still need them. We need them because we must be united to get the CDC out of power. But if Honorable Boycott is continuously sitting supinely, quietly, and refusing to address some of these concerns, the people themselves, they will continue to exhibit these kind of behaviors because they feel like it's okay for them to do. There isn't true understanding of leadership here. There isn't anyone who's taking a responsibility for the acts that are being carried on here. And the fact that, few of these guys will continuously refer to other Liberians as unpatriotic because they have not endorsed, neither do they believe in the leadership of Honorable Boykai. It's strange. It's scary for us to sit here and watch these kind of things happen. No one should sit here and just ignore the reality of it, that Honorable Boycott, again, is not doing what is in the best interest of the Unity Party when we speak of leadership. Until maybe in the next couple of days or weeks, until he can speak up and call his party to order, they are literally trending on a slippery slope, and the possibility of making it to the top of the mountain is slim to none because CDC is not waiting for them. Again, remember, CDC is the government. They are currently in power. Financially, they are equipped. They are ready to go. Will they also be able to rally the base to make it happen for them? That's something that they're going to have to speak to. But everyone who expected Honorable Boycott to be that unifier, he have not shown that ability to serve as a unifier, and that puts him in the predicament.
Before we go to Mr. Russell, let me go to Mr. Russell and go to Sylvester. Mr. Russell, do you believe that UP can pull an election out without an opposition support? You admit it?
If I believe they can pull it off without opposition support,
Yes.
is that the question?
Yes.
I don't think so. The numbers don't look like that they'll be able to do that, and realistically and practically, given the spread of the vote, they would definitely need independents and other opposition figures to come through. And what I'm hearing from on the ground in Liberia, my sources are telling me that many of these opposition parties are now running towards the CDC to try to endorse the CDC. So there's sort of like there's this frenzy of all these different groups, jumping ship. And at the end of the day, everybody's looking out for what is in it for me, what is in it for my party, and all of that. So I don't think that the Unity Party would be able to win this on its own without getting support from other opposition candidates and from other independent candidates as well. It has to put together a big tent and bring everybody in. I know there are sort of ideological differences that they have, and there have been some personality clashes that have been taking place. Brother Julius talked about that, already. I mean, we all have seen it played out. We saw it played out during the campaign. All these different, clashes between different personalities and different groups and all of that. They have to go beyond that. They have to. Someone has to seize the moment. Maybe Mr. Boakai or one of his top lieutenants, have to seize the moment and say, look, this is it. This is what we have to do for the country, and it has to be articulated in a way where people can see themselves in that arrangement. Not some sort of hypocritical type, pitch that they're only doing this for themselves because now you need us is when you're coming to us. They have to be very honest and very genuine about it. But I think it can be done. But to answer your question more directly, no, I don't think Unity Party will be able to win this without the support and backing of other opposition political leaders and other opposition candidates and other independents, out there coming to support them.
Sylvester, I've been actually got some message from one of your strongest. They say that you guys are having some big investment coming up very soon. Do you care to share with us some of that you know of? You hear me,
No,
Sylvester?
I wouldn't want to preempt the intent of those negotiating. No. Yeah, can you hear me? I'm getting you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. So I wouldn't want to preempt or come ahead of the team, basically. But what I can assure this platform this evening is that the establishment is fully engaged, and part of the engagement process is to reach to all of the political parties, all of the major stakeholders, and all the it's individuals that are just participant in the process in terms of got the voting rights. And then Judah said something profound, right? If we are mobilizing, of course, we are mobilizing our base. As a matter of fact, the president is tomorrow going to engage with partisans, those partisans, sympathizers. We are Shen, Sedition, and the rest of it. He's going to engage and speak to them. So that's going to be part of the remobilization of the base, right? Get them moving, saying to the young people, thank you, particularly. Let me emphasize this, particularly the first-time voter. Remember, the first-time voter voted in their minds for this president and the rest of that. So yeah, it's going to be part of the process about engaging these things and getting everything done. But I can assure you that we will talk to everybody, all of the political parties. Now, the president is the president of this republic, and he's a leader that inspired, right? So a very wonderful leader who always moves to inspire and takes a decision to rally the people. And that's part of what he's going to do. So yeah, the party is going to go there. There are other folks. This is the Hessian time. The folks are now having different sort of discussion. And part of the discussion is to also seek this side and have some discussions. And part of what the process is about also is to extend oligarchs to citizens that have been disillusioned. I don't want to use the word disgruntled, right? Disillusioned individuals. It's time to come on board. And the president will be using the opportunity tomorrow. If I want to preempt the thought process of the president to call on those that left to come back, and we all can come and rally this issue. There may have been some policy issues. There may have been some ideological problem. But yeah, we can put aside our personal issue, because this is not about self-aggrandizement. It's not about me, Sylvester Peabody. It's not about the excellence of the president. It's not about, for instance, Judah as a citizen of Lofa or citizen of Liberia. Right? The bottom line is that we're looking at the interest of the country, the forward march of it, how we can project the image of this country and move this country forward, protect this country's democracy, and ensure that everyone is together, but we go through the democratic contestation. That's what this is about. So no one wants to sit and say this process was manipulated. No, we are going to engage this, and we're going to play according to the rule of engagement. And the referee here is the neck, and that's reason why neck is time to time coming up and saying, here's our ground play, here's the game line, here's the rules and the rest of it. And we stick to the rules, but we will have to go all out to hunt. It's just that when you have the hunter and his hunting dog move into the forest. My grandfather was a very great hunter, so we understand the methodology used to the process. So we are now hunting and negotiating that the Peabody with almost everybody. And I can assure you, we are talking to very serious. I was very clear. I can say this, and I said it to him. He was laughing, right? When I pay a courtesy visitation with my former boss, the former Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic, and the Dean of the Cabinet under this administration, when I said to him, "Congratulations on your victory as the senator." He won a very comfortable margin in Grand Bassa County. I congratulated him, and I started the discussion. I am doing this on my own volition, because we got that rapprochement. When I served as the assistant minister for public diplomacy, I was very close to him. We had some discussion. We did things together. He's a very wonderful leader and the rest of that. So we are seeking the support We are seeking the support for the process to unfold, and all of these things will move through the system so that we all can collectively move through here. But yeah, we're going to talk to everybody, and everybody's important in this process. I'm going to show you again.
Okay, Sylvester, let me come back to you again before we move on. Oh, by the way, if you're watching the show, I know we've been away for a while. Please share the show. Just share the show if you're watching. Please share. But Sylvester, there are some places. I was looking at the NEC website, and I was looking at Bakulu County. Bakulu. But you guys did a heck of a work when you built a modern hospital there, and thank you billing roles and other things. Why do you think you were rejected in a place like Batu County? Why would the CDC reject it?
No, so it's a combination of a lot of issues here. Again, and that's part of the reason why we some of us, and I did some work before in Bapu, particularly in the combat, the Bayamasa, and Bopolu City, and the rest of that, get by Harristown, Better Batman, and the rest of it. I've been during the new progressive days, I went very deep into the forest in those areas. Again, Dr. Peabody, I will have to be very clear here. Sometimes the politics change from different perspectives. We come to the issue about tradition. We come to the issue about regional politics, sometimes tribal politics, and the rest of that. I'm one of those individuals that spoke vehemently against tribalizing it, bringing about ethnicity in this process, right? So it's wrong. Because it is important to note here that if we were to situate our political line in this kind of a line of regional politics, tribal politics, and the rest of that, it's not a good thing to do, right? But we needed to push and change the process of the communication a little bit to change that. You're right. 100 bedroom state of the art hospital in Bopolu City. That hospital, the Emory Hospital, is supposed to cater to almost 4 to 5 counties. It's catering to Bopolu County itself, the Bombing County, Bon County, Lofa County, so and part of Cape Mount, right? So it's 5 counties that would benefit from that morning hospital in Bopolu City. Now, for the president, and that's not only the process. I can say he opened it, but the president already committed that they're going to be doing the roof on the broad side Park all the way into Bopolu City, passing through. So there's a potential road project coming up also there. So with all of these things done, and the people still vote the way they vote, sometimes you want to ask the question, but again, no, I wouldn't be the one to say it. But what we can do now is to go back there and try to change the communication tactics. How can we change this process? We're not holding them, we're not versed with them. They voted. We're going to now change the communication process. Hey, how can we fix it? Did we do well in terms of setting up with the people what we did and the intent of what we did there? Can we now try to change it? I do believe we can make some significant inroad in Bapolu come the next 2 weeks if the neck is announcing tomorrow. Hopefully, we can make some significant inroad in changing the mindset of the folks, in allowing them to get engaged in the process, and then we all can do something. It's not on the Bapolu. Quickly, before I can rest for now, also in bombing, we have to do a change of tactics in bombing and that of Kitman, right? So these are 3 counties.
So if I ask what kind of tactics, what should you guys be doing now to change the number? What should you guys be doing?
Yeah, we would do more or less people to people processes, talking to town chiefs, talking to the clients, talking to the folks themselves, engaging the young people, engaging most of the traditional leaders. Now, this is not about traditional activities and the rest of that, but again, we respect tradition. I am a full son of a traditionalist, right? So I do believe that. As a matter of fact, my middle name, yeah, you know that I'm a warrior. But when we were to, and that's one of the reasons people say uncle, uncle, uncle. I do respect Ambassador Barker as my uncle, and because the Kisti people are generally our uncles in Lofa, right? But again, there's this thin line between tradition versus development. We would have to maintain our tradition, but we have to bring some sort of development to our people, and that's part of the reason why the president performed very well in Lofa because of the kind of a way we change some things. But yeah, the communication process, the engagement methodology, we have to change a little bit in those areas, and we have to see how. But there's something I studied in communication called strategic thinking and writing, right? So we have to be more strategic now in terms of how we approach some of those things and be more or less and build chemistry. right? And see the way that we built the synergy between the voters that have some issues and building the synergy between our traditional leaders and making it to understand where the things go wrong a little bit. Because some of them are even surprised. Why? How did they happen? Well, the young man, this president brought in hospital for us. He brought this. We have not seen this in Bapur County before. It is here in Bapur. It is here in Bopol. Folks from the forest, from where in low mining areas, will come there. I mean, how did it happen, right? So, I mean, the process is there's going to be a concerted effort made by absolutely everybody, all hands on deck, to ensure that we repair what we didn't fix well, and then we move on. It's part of the process. Our challenge, that's what we want to do this time around. We want to sufficiently quickly maximize our strength and do a lot more to minimize our weaknesses to get this done and finish with the business in the runoff.
All right. Let me come to Judas is back. Judah, let me ask you this. Voter turnout. Uh, Normally in the second round, we don't really see a lot of people, and now there have been a lot of rumors going around that people are not selling their voter card. I don't know how true it is. That's rumors. Just one of the Facebook play stuff there. Playbook, that folks are selling the voter registration card. Folks are not going. And one of the factor in the election is that a lot of people have trucked from different places. People were trucking from one, and in the second round, they may not have the funds uh, to do that. So, how you think this second round going to play out in terms of voter turnout?
Well, here's the thing about the voters turnout, and that's why, again, as much as I may sound redundant, but here's the reality. That's some of the reason why we attempted to discourage the idea of trucking people from one place to another, and this antique idea of politicking in Liberia that the Unity Party and CDC thought that they had control over. Now, a place to CDC's advantage because again, remember they are the ruling establishment. They control the finance, right? They are capacitated to fuse the cash to where it is needed to truck if need be or not to do it. They can actually depend on their weights or their voters population based on their achievement over the years. This is why we said, look, the opposition made this race easy, very easy for the CDC. Again, only if they can take advantage of I guess, the gift that was given to them, because the opposition, as they will consider themselves one of the biggest political party that was in the race, the Unity Party felt like, based on the massive failure, as we would describe it, of George Weah, they would have just walked in and the people would just handed power over to them. So, oh, George, we have failed up miserably. So nobody cares about him no more. So here you go, take power and let's just replace him. Little did they know that, look, the reason first and foremost we are here is because the people got tired of you. Okay, the Unity Party. So this is not simply based on, hey, let's just get here. Second round. The second round now bring us to the point where they have to put in more work based on the data and what they have seen. What I have noticed and what I'm just listening to people here, from what I'm hearing, they are ready to pull all boots on the ground. They are going. They're not telling you, look, we don't need certain people to come around. People is telling you, look, we need everybody. We need everyone, even people from the opposition who felt like we failed them. We are asking them for a second chance. We are telling them that we have re-strategized. We have visited our policies. We are telling you, look, we know we failed to some extent. We are not distancing ourselves from the failure, but we are telling you, give us another chance, as compared to the opposition that is saying we want to remain divided. Okay, we don't want the 1% votes because we feel like we have the number. And again, that level of arrogance puts them in a harder position because at this point in time, you should be thinking, how can I expand my horizon? How can I get out there to people who didn't even want to listen to the message that I was actually preferring out there? What solution can I present to these independent voters? Remember, okay, you have seditions who are no longer going to turn away from their political party. I don't care what you do, you tie them up, they would not walk away at this point in time. There are independents who are looking at it as, look, if you look at both parties, right, it appears to me that Liberians are not in a dire need for change, because if they did, neither one of these parties would be in a race today. They would be talking about something else. Instead, they show it based on their votes that, look, right now we are not ready for change. And if we are to consider the idea of change, we don't know as to whether the Unity Party is that agent of change. We don't know that is the real case. So it makes it even harder. And Unity Party now has to get in the message of getting out there, getting the voters out there. Do they have the financial capacity to do that? Because if you must get people out there to vote, they want their votes protected. Some are crying about the reality that, hey, they may have been cheated. Their votes were not protected. And so they feel like, no, they did not get what they expected out of the efforts, the sacrifice to go to this voting booth and vote. Can the Unity Party provide that protection for them? I don't see it. Secondly, are they mobile enough to get out there and make the case to other Liberians? Honorable Boykai, he did not reach out to the southern part of Liberia, the southeastern part of Liberia. He sent his second man in command. I think the people from the southeast felt disrespected for the mere fact that Honorable Boykai will refuse to visit them and make the case himself. And some of us spoke about this. We told them, look, regardless of where you're from, this whole tribal politics must stop. Because again, we must get the message across to every Liberian as to what you can do. But if you simply look at a group of people and say, we already know how you're going to vote, we're not going to visit you, we're going to focus on this side of town, then the people are going to make their rational decision. So I'm telling you, if the voter turnout in the second round is high, it may not favor the opposition because the opposition have themselves against the wall where I don't know if they can honestly make this happen. But I know one thing for a fact that is going to work against the CDC, and that would be their records. The CDC, I don't know if they have much record to really run on. So if the Unity Party can take advantage of the opportunity to highlight the failures of the CDC government and make sure that the masses can understand how beneficial it will be to have a leader who will understand the plight of the people and create opportunity, job opportunity, provide security, and make sure that our healthcare facilities are up to date and functioning. I think they may have a chance at it. But the messengers in this case actually could make the case for them. Unfortunately, all we hear is the war drum and the fear mongering that the opposition is running with. Unfortunately, that is not going to make it for them because you cannot threaten Liberians with anything such as hunger or hard time or war and other things. It's not going to happen.
But Julia, you said that the VP refused to go to the southeast. Do you think he really refused to go, or it may have been difficult for him considering his health and
That makes her refusal. That makes her refusal. He should have considered, okay, all of those things, and that's the reason why when people engage in these kind of, I mean, in politics, in these campaigns, they are concerned about your health. Okay, when it was discussed, people felt like all people were being condescending, people were being disrespectful to the former statesman as far as discussing his health. No, so if his health played a major role in why he did not go to the southeast, then that is to some extent a refusal to engage his people because he needed to do that. Even right in Monrovia, okay, there was a campaign, the rally that was held at the Simon Condo Stadium. The honorable man did not, okay, engage the people himself. Instead, it was a recording that was sent to the people. That in itself, again, is to some extent disrespectful to the voters, and you telling them The same thing President Weah have been doing over the years. I am just preparing myself to exhibit the same behavior. President Weah did not, at some point in time, engage Liberian. He did not approach them with issues. He would record and send it out to the people. And when critical issues were brought up, he just waved it to the side. Ambassador Joseph Numa Boyka did similar thing on the campaign trail. So what is it that he did? You cannot just ignore that and say, oh, it was not refusal. It may have been health related. If it was health related, then yes, to some extent, it was a refusal on his part to take that into consideration and do what he's supposed to do.
So, Mr. Russell, do you think the Vice President missed an opportunity here for not going into the southeast and engaging with people? Do you think it was a great opportunity here that he missed?
Yeah, there's always an opportunity. I don't think it was intentional. And so when you're running campaigns like this, and especially a national campaign, you look at the different areas and see where you can get quote unquote a big bang for your presence. What are you going to get in return? So when you look at the spread of the vote. And the registered voters around the country, I think they made a calculated decision that the Southeast, they should concentrate on the Northeast or the Northwest corner of the state, or the western side of the state, as opposed to the southeastern side of the state, given the low population spread in that area. So I mean. Being in campaigns myself, and a lot of campaigns, at that, and ran in a couple of elections. So you have to maximize your you have to maximize your strength and your connection, and sort of to see how best you can leverage those things, and say, okay, you know what? Do I go to this region? Do I go to this apartment complex where we have a lot of voters there? Or do I go someplace else? So those are strategic political decisions that are made. So I don't think that it was intentional. I think it was strategic, uh, uh, given the vote spread in the southeast compared to other parts of the country. So they decided that maybe we should focus on someplace else as opposed to the southeast. I mean, for sure, it doesn't hurt, uh, to have gone there yourself. But of course, you can't be all over the place. So that's what you have, trusted messengers, and I'm sure that's why they sent, Senator Kuhn there to represent the ticket, as opposed to the vice president himself going. And of course, the fact that the roads are terrible in that area. So again, that was also a decision that they had to make. So okay, where do we put in a lot of our resources? Do we put it in the southeast, or do we put it in the northeast or the northwest corner of the country? And so they made that decision. So I think that's what happened. I don't, was it a missed opportunity? They, again, like I said, it depends on what they were looking at and the data they were looking at, the analysis that they came up with, and they said, well, are we going to have a bigger bang going to the southeast or going to someplace else? And they chose to go someplace else as opposed to go to the southeast. I don't know if that may have angered people in the southeast, but you can see for the vote spread there that the numbers in the southeast, that they were at a much greater advantage, concentrating on the northeastern part of the country and the northwestern part of the country, as opposed to concentrating on the southeast, because they got a much bigger bang than had they gone to the southeast. So I think all of that factor into their calculation.
Okay. Thank you. Welcome, Mr. Lawrence Carson, Nima Jackson, and welcome, Johnny KM. Trying to make it. I can't see your final name, but welcome, Johnny. Good to see you as well. We talking about the election.
Johnny,
We're talking
Johnny
about
KM, Johnny KM Nigbe, Johnny Nigbe.
Mr. Bigwin. Good to see you, Mr. Jackson. Good to see you as well. Let me bring you guys in. We were talking about opposition unity, talk about whether the VP missed an opportunity from going to Southeast, and how can a bad blood be fixed to become a good blood, let's say. So, what's your take on it? What the opposition unity, Mr. Jackson? I don't know what party you support, but maybe you want to share
Uh,
with us,
first
especially
of
as we
all,
go to the second round.
first of all,
What's your take?
I wasn't getting you well, but if I understood you, you said what is my take on about the second round, right?
Yeah, yes, and the opposition
Yeah.
unity as well.
Okay. First of all, I belong to the ANC.
Okay.
Yeah, but yes, I don't know. You talking about support or what I'm thinking about whether
Yeah,
ANC
the
should support.
opposition unity. Let me go back.
Oh, okay, okay. But yeah, here's the point. Let's be clear about this. Here's the point. The point here is that before any the support or yeah, well, yes, that's what I'm talking. Because what I'm looking at here is that what has happened to the CPC, I mean CPP. So Mr. Cummings, if he wants to for us to go to Mr. Bwakai, it's very good. He is the leader or whatever direction he wants for us to go, we can decide. But here's the point. Yeah, it have to be very clear. It have to be very, very clear that they have to sit down what had happened before because yeah, what Mr. Costa just said recently. That have to be discussed. We say country first. If country is a first, also we should understand that we should do the right thing. So what are transpired between them before it needs to be discussed before because collaboration is a trust. You can't go in collaboration without trust. But as a member of ANC, what had happened, it didn't go well with us. So that's my but uh, what I'm saying here is that when the opposition for us to support one another, I see it very difficult because you can see the people from the ANC, I mean from the CPP, not CPP, the Unity Party, what they're doing right now instead of now they are in the glass house and we are outside, but they are stealing us. So I seen they are not thinking wisely, and they are like you're just thinking about yourself. You're not thinking about the, but they are telling oh support all not thinking about the country. Yeah, we'll support you. We're thinking about the country, but you have to behave responsible. That's all. That is the important factor.
Right.
So that's what we need to look at critically from my point of view.
Okay.
Or even if they want for us to support Mr. Weir, if Mr. Comey wants. Then he had to sit with him to see whether Mr. Weir something some things that he wants Mr. Weir to do, President Weir, to do when he agrees to do so, and if he thinks, then we see to follow our leader.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Uh,
Yeah.
Johnny, welcome. Good to see you, Johnny. Uh, Johnny, opposition unity. Is anybody reaching out to you guys at the moment?
Well, thank you for this show. I mean, let
Can we
me
all just mute because it seems like we have a feedback?
yeah, let me say greetings to my fellow panelists on the show and those listening to us in Liberia and around the world. Let me make something clear. I don't understand where is that concept coming from about opposition unity. I've always had this question all during the election period. It's not just now. And those who know who I am, I've always said, why do you call opposition unity?
Mr. Jackson, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. Mr. Jackson, can you mute yourself? I think the feedback is coming from your end.
Should I mute my phone?
Yeah, just mute it. Just mute it
That's
while he's
muted.
talking.
You got a feedback.
All right, all right, all right. Let me see. Oh yeah. Sorry, I got it. Yeah,
He's
yeah,
all the
yeah.
way in
Let me
Norway.
do that.
He joined us from Norway.
Okay. So that's my points, Mr. Peabody and the rest of the team. What concept is that? What is the background of this concept of opposition unity? And for me, it has no background. I think it's just a kind of defeatist idea. I think when people don't have strength to do anything, they call opposition unity. Every candidate that was in this election, 20 candidates, they all came on during this election to tell Liberians, to tell the employer, Liberians, the electors, they tell the employers that we are qualified to contest, we are qualified to provide leadership for Liberians. You understand? So I don't understand how applicants for a job at some point can collaborate and say, let's give one person the opportunity to take this job. Everyone contested the position. Everyone they were not there as, first of all, they were not there as opposition. That one thing I also want to get clear. They were all there as applicants to Liberians. Let's look at our constitution. After 6 years, Mr. Weah did not continue being president and just apply, just contest. Mr. Weah had to go back to the process of applying again to NEC, to be scrutinized to NEC before he could contest the election, like all other 19 candidates. So the issue of opposition unity, I don't think I have a place to discuss that. There's no room for that. There's nothing like opposition unity in my view, in my individual, my own mind, my intelligence doesn't say that we have something called opposition unity, right? Except where that now that we've come to a point where we have two candidates in the election, President Weah and VP McCay, based on, again, our provision by our constitution that if no one reached 50% plus one, you have a runoff. So now we have a runoff. So the other 18 candidates now reach that level. So except that any one of those candidates now can begin to reach out to the 18 that did not succeed to reach to the level. So if the Unity Party team wants to see this as let's collaborate with our fellow candidates who are contesting, who are not in a position as president or contesting, fine. Then they have the opportunity to begin to make calls, send delegation to people and talk. And if you don't call those people and you think people are not important to you, whoever calls and make a clear case to those individuals, they will discuss the matter, their business, and go ahead with it. And let me make one point. No one, not even any of us on this show, should believe that without them, Liberia cannot make progress, Liberia cannot move forward. Again, when people say for what do they call it? For nation business or national issues.
For the sake of country.
For the sake of country. This country is always here. My grandparents were born, they met Liberia here. I'm here, Liberia is here. No one Liberian. All of us on this show, no one of us is better than Liberia. No one of us is star. Liberia society is star to our life. We have the obligation, we have the duty to make Liberia better. So okay, so who is going to benefit for country's sake? Who benefiting from that process, from that statement you make for country's sake? Who benefits? Right? So let me just ask this question: who benefits when you say for the country's sake, Mr. Peabody? Who benefits from this statement?
The entire country.
No, but we have a situation where we are in an election. So somebody you are saying for country's sake, where does the country's sake fit? Who benefit from that between the two candidates? Between President Weah and VP.
Well, I'll tell you, no, I don't know who, because honestly, I don't support any party, any party here. Really.
So then, what this means to us also again as Liberians, this is where we keep making a mistake when we tie Liberia to individuals and say for the country's sake. For the country's sake. So are you saying if we vote President Weah for the country's sake, or we should vote VP McCay for country's sake? What are we saying here? So
we should vote for one. We should vote for one of them.
Yeah, but then no need. Then no need to discuss for the country's sake, because the country's sake is why we're having elections. So no need for the country's sake become a statement during this election, during the second round, for the country's sake. It appears that somebody wants to tell you that somebody, another person, is not important to Liberia as compared to other person. And I will tell you, and everyone listening to this show, that all Liberians, even the young boys, even the young people that we call Zogos, they are all important to Liberia. They are playing a role that Liberia, what Liberia is. So
Well,
if you say for the country's sake, I think we should take that for the conversation. There's no for the country's sake issue here. Liberia belongs to all of us. We have two candidates in the election. Let two candidates sell their idea to us, and we vote for the one that we think suits our satisfaction and is ready to solve our problem in this country.
all right. We got 27 more minutes. I wanted to ask you, Johnny, have any of the two parties reach out to you? Anyone can reach out to you, to LANU. You represent LANU, right? Johnny, can you hear me?
Yes, yeah.
That any one of the party reach out to you?
Not to my knowledge, because I've been traveling over the last week. Currently I'm right now in New York in the US. I have.
Yeah, you did talk about coming for a meeting in New
York.
Yeah,
I came for this Justice Week at the United Nations, and
okay,
I brought along with me one Liberian traditional leader to talk about our customary justice system, because we are discussing the issue of justice with reference to informal and customary justice affecting the world globally. And so I've been busy in the last 1 week in Monrovia preparing for this conference. So I didn't follow up much of party activities. So I will not know who has called.
Why your internet so clear and not breaking us? I see why you on today, no shaking and coming. Oh, your internet is static. But Siddiqui is here. Siddiqui just came on. Siddiqui, tell us what you think. The Unity Party announced they are trying to do the peace pipe, trying to reach out to the one unity. What do you think about it?
Yeah, good evening to all of you. It's good to be here again on the argument. Sylvester, I know you're happy right now because you're in the second round, but that's good. Congratulations to you in advance, even though you guys, bring a ridiculous result out that is not reflecting the weight of the people, but we got to move on. But Mr. Peabody, yes, the UP.
So you see, it's unfortunate. Listen, no man. Sometimes I understand. I always said this to you. No. It's necessary. I always said this. We need to. I don't want to go into the rest of the story the way you want to present it, right? But it's quite unfortunate. You need to come out and just check the facts sometimes. It's not about wanting to get. I know that there's exuberance there. You want to catch up with the issue. You want to say some things that will give traction. But it's unfortunate that you will come and say this kind of a thing. The numbers will never lie to you. The processes, the trajectory of these elections, and the way it went is clear that the processes were free, fair, transparent. We have leaders that don't come with those kind of statements. I don't really want to go there, but it's unfortunate.
We don't have much time to go.
Give it chance. I'll give you a chance. I want to commend you for you participating in the elections. I know you participated, and that's how we're talking to everybody now. It's not nobody going to come and bully nobody here, but congratulations on participating. But just unfortunate, but you can make a try next time. So go ahead, my dear brother.
What I said, I don't know how long you've been away from the country. I don't know you was here, you voted. I don't know that. But what I'm saying here is a fact. You come on ground.
No,
according to PDC, Apeton or whatever they call him, Kim Ter. But Liberians in Monserrado are asking question, who is Apeton? How can people vote for Apeton and then be asking who is him? And then you talk about the numbers are clear, but that's another story. We'll talk about that, and there will be consequences. I just want you to know that we are checking the fact. The people who conspire to steal the way of the Liberian people, they will pay for it. So that's just what I wanted to make clear. Now, to opposition unity, Mr. Peabody, the CPP is having a conversation. For me, I've always supported Mr. Cummins as an independent. I'm not a member of the ANC, but he will make a position clear. Let's few days to come. But what I will say to you, as Siliki Command, for me, and a lot of Liberians who are in, this confusion right now at this point, we don't know, because there are a lot of people, they are confused. They don't know where to support. They don't want to go to CDC. They don't want to support the Unity Party. What I can say right now is that being neutral is the best option. If you truly love this country, you want a better country, yes, if Mr. Weah is re-elected, Do I want him to do better for the country to move forward? Of course, yes, I want that. Do I want Mr. Baka to do better if he exceed to the presidency? Of course, I want that. But do I believe that they will do better? No, I don't believe that, because they have not tell us what they're gonna do. Joshua, throughout the campaign period, did not tell the Liberian people what he have done and what he's gonna do. Joseph Baka too have not tell us what he's going to come to do differently from what Joshua and the CDC is doing. And so for me, I'm neutral. I'm not voting second round, because what I believe in is Mr. Cummings, because he explained to us and that he can change our country by providing job, making the private sector active so that Liberians can be employed, moving the economy. And he have a record of doing that, though. And so that is the man that I believe. And talking about whether the Unity Party is reaching out to people, to other opposition, like as about opposition unity, what I want to say to that is that UP is not doing that. Sadly, that is going to cause a big defeat for the Unity Party. The consistency of UP being arrogant, feeling entitled to the presidency, is something that you can't even talk, just on this platform. Every day and night, they insult people every day. They question people's future simply because you say you're not supporting Baga. If Joseph Baga controls somebody's future, why Joseph Baga is not president now? The moment you say you're not supporting Joseph Baga, they tell you your future ends. You don't know what you want. And they call you all kinds of names, Pele Jovi and so on. Which is very, very ridiculous for the kind of democracy we are advocating for. But the Liberian people have decided, yes, there was some fraudulent, conspiracy against the result that was coming out from the NEC. But the people we decided, because for the fact that George Weah could even get 800,000 votes, it speaks a lot. It speaks that we, as a country, as a people, we are not following the ability of people, what they can do to transform our country. We are not following policy issue, what people can tell us that they will do. But instead, popularity and things that don't matter that have kept us the way we are, which is very, very sad for us. We are good. Mr. Cummings is good. In the next coming days, Mr. Cummings is going to take us out. That, of course, I know about. He's not going to be neutral like in day 2017. Whether that side is Georgia or Joseph Baka, I don't know that. They will make it public in the next few days. But the Unity Party don't seem in that long. And let me say this to you before I close on, Mr. Peabody. Have you asked yourself a question in 2019? The opposition beat the CDC in Montserrat. 2020, we did the same thing massively. But this election result shows that, the UP won CDC just over less than a vote. Have you asked yourself a question, why is it like that? Because the arrogances of the Unity Party, they insult everybody. They come and say they don't need nobody. They say they don't need Kumis. They don't need Kosa. They don't need Tawon Gonglo because they may not nobody. They don't need Kalame Maluba. So who you need now? This is something that the UP got to get rid of. And this runoff, people chuck people left and right just to go and vote for representative and that of senatorial candidates. Some of them lost. Are you going to engage those people to spend their own money? You don't have money. Then you arrogant warrior. Then you say you win election. When people talk, then you say that future sport. They will not be successful in life. Simply because you talk about Kush. You say the Liberian people talk about Kush. But your son is a drug addict. You know how to rehabilitate your son. But you're talking about rehabilitating other people's son. Charity begins at home. When people talk low on it, then you get angry. You get irritated. You're calling people names. These are facts, and we got to look at the facts on ground. I'm not supporting Joseph Baga. I'm not going to stay under the rain and sun to catch my vote for Joseph Baga. I will never do that. Same as George Weah, simply because people are arrogant, so I must say George Weah is the option. No, I can never do that. And, over the last 5 to 6 years, we have been here, questioning George Weah leadership. Then today I go stay on the sun and rain to support George Weah. Come on, I can't do that. And it is up to the Liberian people. They can do what they want to do. For me, I say to all Liberians, get ready for the next 6 years suffering. That is it. Period. Thank you very much.
All right, guys, we got 20 more minutes to go. The guys are still on my back. But let me ask this question, Mr. Russell. Do you think Mr. Cummings should be endorsing? He shouldn't be neutral, Mr. Russell.
No, I don't think this is the time for anyone to sit on the sideline. I think Mr. Cummings should come out and decide and support the person that he thinks will be best suited to move our country forward. I think sitting on the sidelines or not speaking up, I don't think it will be good for his political future. I think he needs to come forward and make it known who he's going to support. But like I've said and we've said over and over, if the opposition parties, if they are going to have any hope of defeating the CDC, they will need to work together strategically and with solidarity. I mean, there's no question about it. And I don't, I was sort of confused as to where my brother, Johnny, was coming from, because this is about the country. I mean, this is about the future, of the country and future of our people. Opposition unity is important. Coming together, as one to defeat the CDC is critically important. Now, how they go about it, that's something that's something that is left to be seen. But is it important? Is it something that needs to be done? I think so, because like I've said before, and I'll say it again, I was just in Liberia. I was there to observe the elections, and things are bad. The CDC government, they have failed miserably. I mean, there's no question about it. Hands down, they've failed miserably. But is that enough to get people to show up on November 7th to vote for them? I'm not sure. So how the UP goes about it, how the UP is reaching out, to people. But there's no question about it. I think, Brother Julius said this earlier, before many of you joined, and we talked about this. There will have to be, opposition folks coming together, independents coming together to work with the UP, and how the UP reaches out to these individuals and these individual personalities and opposition candidates and parties and all of that is going to be critically important to their success.
Dr.
Julia.
If you let me just use this time to ask Brother Russell this question. I have been sitting and observing the new wave of newly elected lawmakers that are going to the House. My question to you, having the experience and to have participated in elections, especially in the United States, could these new lawmakers, if President Weah is re-elected, help his success to provide a better government in his second term? Could that probably be? Is that a possibility? Let's look at it that way, because of the fact that those who were in his corner, those who felt like they were the likes of Akaras Gray, who was just not doing anything but just talking. Solomon George and other people are no longer there. You have a whole new wave of, new breed of young, innovative lawmakers who are now coming to the table and say, okay, we are here. So could that possibly aid in the success story that George Weah and the CDC government wants to leave behind?
I think so. I think that you make a great point there, Julius. There's no question about it. I think, but again, this is something for it'll be something that people will have to take a gamble on, because at least Akaris Gray and the likes of Solomon George, who were defeated. They had a track record, so we could look back on a couple of years and say, okay, these folks are not good for the country, and we could evaluate them based on their track record. The new folks that are coming in, all we're hearing from them and all we know about them is what they were telling us. Okay, but would that be good enough to turn the corner? So one of the things is that these folks have been elected already. They have 6 years and 9 years, respectively, which I think is woefully, too much and need to be reformed. But that's a whole different question for concern for another day. But a number of these folks may sit on the sideline or and especially if what and has been predicted, there may be trouble and stuff like that, because they don't want any trouble to come to the country that will not give them the opportunity to serve their 6 years or the 9 years. So
Yes. Yes.
where they're going to go.
Yes.
They're going to stick with the quote unquote with the devil they know, and then the angel that is thinking about is about coming along. So it's a very delicate balance. It's going to be a very delicate balance how the Unity Party engages these new lawmakers that are coming that is coming to the Congress. They've not been tested yet. Folks don't know them yet. All we know is that this guy is brilliant, and he articulated a really clear vision for moving the country forward. But one of the things I would tell you, Brother Julius, and you alluded to that, me serving a year, and before serving, I was an advocate. I have been out there, I've been advocating for good local governance, and and access and all of that. So, but there's a difference between advocating and governing. So many of these folks have been advocating and have been talking about the failure, the abysmal failure of the VIA administration and the CDC, but now they get the opportunity to govern. Can they govern? So that's going to be, and
let me get
nobody knows.
Let me get Sylvester at the time.
Yeah. Yes, thank you, Peabody. Let me just rebuff what Mr. Russell said. It's unfortunate to say the government failed. A failed government don't listen. So first and foremost, we need to provide some explanation here to our folks. A government that massively failed wouldn't be getting the numbers they got. So out of 20 candidates, the first issue there, a failed government wouldn't be having some functional issue unfolding here. The administrative state is functional. So how will you say the government failed when you got all of those things? I thought to debunk that and categorically, but yes, there's a functional process here. The state is functioning, the administrative state is engaged also, and the process is unfolding. There are all the weeds of the democracy that is very well on course, and we are intentional about this, and that's part of the reason why the government, the president, is winning on the first ballot. Let me emphasize, the president is winning on the first ballot. It is because of the functional engagement of the administration. So there's nothing that we couldn't have done to put into perspective some realistic process unfolding here in the country. Listen, there are a lot of challenges. There have been a lot of exogenous issues here. Like the former president Taylor would say, the monkey want to box, but the hands are short. So we did much more we could, and that's why we tried to put into place a regular policy engagement issues to confront the hard reality on the ground, and that's what the president did. Imagine we had a lot of issues across the world. It was not only limited to this country. There are a lot of things that unfolded, but the governing process, the rule, we're trying to beef up the issue of the rule of law, trying to ensure we get the agricultural sector running and working well, effectively, and that's why we promoting a lot of cooperatives around the place, getting the roads done. We are not yet there, but there have been significant improvement in terms of where we came from and where we headed. So the structure of the state is very well on course. If I were to listen to Mr. Russell say that the government massively failed, then I will pull him back to a small debate to say what's the definition of a massive failure, right? A massive failure is the government that wanted to relate to its people, a government that lacked the ability to ensure that the administrative state is functioning. The administrative state is well on course in terms of that. The three structure of government, according to our constitutional provisions, those structures are working very coordinatively, distinctly, separately. That's the definition of a functioning state, right? So I don't understand the definition of mass. You just came to the country, you saw everything moving, sailing well. Are we there in terms of everything? No. There are some issues. And are we trying to grapple with those issues and solve those problems and move on head on? Yeah. It is because of the way the situation is unfolding in this country that the president is winning on the first ballot. You'll win on the first ballot, but it won't be sufficient to take us across the line. So we're going to get the job done in the second phase. That's why we are bringing everybody on board to ensure that we move this country forward. One thing we will do, we will metastasize this information across the country. That way, everyone's going to get part of the process, and it's going to be a kind of a system that we're going to hold and move that road forward. So the system is functioning, the country is on course, the rule of law is on course, and we have to amplify this movement. Yes.
All right, Sylvester. Thank you. Let me bring in Mr. Jackson for at least 2 minutes,
Are you
and
there,
then we'll go to
everybody?
Tony. Huh? Are you there? Mr. Jackson, come in. You got to unmute yourself. Come,
You
Mr. Jackson, unmute yourself. Go ahead.
you
Let me
hearing me?
give you 2 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. I normally say this to, yeah, to many people. Uh, to win President Weah, you have to have something that he don't have. Like example, right now I can tell you he has a lot of energy. He still has a lot of supporters. We're talking about opposition support. Omen Bwaka have never gone to the southeast. Now, let me just tell you, if you're fighting your enemies, I mean, when I say politically now, that's what I mean. You have to go in the stronghold to show up that you are there to confuse them. But now, let me just tell you, you see Rider, you see Mike Givey, Bone County, Lofa, all the places, Grand Bassa, the battle zone. Anybody can get vote from there. There's a battleground. Now, these people too, let's get to the other side. They are saying that they should be supported. Let me put it in a Liberian way. Raccoon never drinking, you see how their eyes are red. I'm talking about the Unity Party people, the way they're behaving. See
You
their
said,
behavior.
can you repeat that?
Raccoon never drinking, you see how the eyeballs are red. They are not taking power yet. See the behavior.
Alluding to the job description, the job division already.
Yes. So when President Weah, what I'm seeing here, when they say he failed, partly I agree. He failed the major subject. The major subjects that he failed, like example, the roads. Look at the airport road he's building right now. It's good to build it, but let's look at it critically. Does it bring how many passengers coming yearly? The benefit of that road right now. Instead of building the road that going to the southeast or Lofa County, Johnsonville Road, let's look at it. Let's look at it technically. So what he needs to do is to do technical development instead of political development. When he goes somewhere, crowd behind him, then he say, okay, I will do this and build a road. We from the southeast. Let me give you an example. They always say, oh, the southeast now. What do we get? We don't have road. We are voting right now. We are voting. We are not Liberian in the rainy season. So we need. I mean, he needs to. If he wins again, he needs to look at that very critically. Now, Omen Boakai, he needs to take leadership role because why? I'm not seeing it that he taking that role. He's always quiet. He's always quiet, and one who is quiet, no one knows what they want to do. Look at what comes out of Mr. Costa. When I listen to it sometime, because if we say we love our country, poor country first, you can't steal your way out to the presidency. The way Comey was treated, they stole their way out where they are right now. Then you need him now. What is the trust? So I can tell you, it is difficult for the opposition. Okay. And there's possibility that I can tell you honestly that President Weah can win again.
Right. Peabody, I want to ask Mr. Jackson one question, please.
Yeah. Go ahead, Johnny.
Go ahead.
So Jackson, can anybody clarify here, Jackson, everybody else, when you say put country first, who benefits from put country first?
Should I
clarify it?
Who benefits from that statement? Put country first.
Can I chime in on that, Mr. Jackson?
The citizen benefit from it. The citizen.
No, no. In the context of this election, because when I hear people
Oh,
saying
okay.
for the in the
I
for
think
the like,
it's the
for the
United
country
Party now.
interest.
Okay, the people that in the race now, both of them, they benefit from it. Not we that are out. It's not us.
I think
Yeah.
the way it is supposed to be looked at when
So, well, yeah, but
that
when you say the country, let me just tell you the weak side of it, the CDC. The problem with CDC is that yes, they are in power. When you are in power, you are the ruler. You should behave like a father. You are the father in the house. But they are always attacking. You know, they are saying to win is another thing, but to deliver is another thing. CDC won the election, but they are not deliver. Like woman pregnant, she can't deliver. So what can I charge that? So
I
CDC
think
really
that's a
need
lot.
to look at themselves, critically and see. But I believe, I'm telling you, write this down. The chances of CDC winning is not slim in this election. I'm telling you, they are a ruling party. I mean, I'm not a fan of CD. I'm not a sedition, but I just being clear.
No, I mean the facts are the facts. I
the
mean,
fights
So
are the
I'm
fight.
just saying the fact.
You know,
That's
You
true.
know,
and when we
Go
so
started
ahead.
this
chances of
conversation,
winning
I
is
think
very. I'm seeing it because look, let me tell you, the party, the way they behaving, I've just it's like they are arrived. Let me be very clear about this. So that's my point right there. So
Okay.
I mean,
Okay, we got 5 minutes. So let me go to Johnny, then I'll go to Julius, and then Mr. Russell, and then Sylvester will be out. We got 5 minutes to go.
So let me just close here by saying Liberians should take our politics from tribal politics. I see a serious wave of tribal and regional politics that is unfolding, and our conscious level, there's no disrespect to Liberians, our conscious level politically in this country sometimes leads us to some level of violence. I want to ask all our intellectuals, our Liberian intellectuals, let's go to the second round election discussing the issue. Stop this political issue when it comes to politics. I mean, it comes to tribal issue. Somebody saying, "Oh, this is a time for this group." I mean, the Liberians want to know, they want to hear, even though they didn't listen in the first round from all the good things everybody has said. But let's try to tell people that election is not about who is handsome, who is popular, who has more money. It's about who has a message, who has the ability, who has the capacity to transition your life from where you are to the next step. So let's give more attention. I would advise that the two candidates left to have at least an hour or two of a heated debate to tell Liberians. Because since 2005, these two parties have led our political issues here, the Unity Party and the CDC. So, and these two candidates now have been the biggest forerunners. I'm appealing to two of them in this second round. Let's have even a day, for God's sake, have 2, 3 hours. Let people talk to us. Let Mr. Weir talk to us. Let Omen Bwaka talk to us. Tell us what we do. Let all the surrogates, all the agents stay away. Let the people sit on the platform and talk to us. Let's know them. But this is like in an employment situation, you got the two best candidates now. Let them prove themselves. Let us stop allowing them to hide behind the noise and hide their force, hide their intelligence. Let's give them a chance to speak to us. Tell us who they are. What can they do in the next 6 years for us? So I appeal to all Liberians. Let's stop the tribal issues. Liberia is a unitary state. We have the 16 ethnic groups, but look, we are one family. Start the tribal issue before we lead to another conflict in this country. So let me start here and say thank you, Peabody, for keeping the show. And I hope I will join you in the next few days again from Monrovia. I want to
Well,
depart from here early.
how long you here? If you're in the Pennsylvania area, give me a call. Let's get together, man.
No,
I'll put
I'm
you in
actually
mind.
right now. I'm in New York. I'm in central Manhattan. That's where I
Okay.
am. And I've been around today. I just got through my last meeting. I have two meetings tomorrow. One is at 10, other is at 11:30. And then hopefully by evening I should leave. But I'm trying to see I can adjust my flight schedule to spend another day or two to see some friends
Okay.
before going back. 'Cause I want to be back
Okay.
before second round election.
Okay. Okay. Who next? And then Julius, you are next, right?
yeah.
And then let's close that. Wrap it up, guys.
So let me just say this again. It was a great conversation, great interaction. And going forward, like my brother Johnny just said, I think going forward we need to amplify the message of the message of substance. Okay, and hopefully, if we can work on trying to extirpate the whole idea of popularity. Okay, this popularity politics, this issue of tribal politics, this issue of it's not helping Liberian. It's not helping us at all because people shield themselves from the reality of trying to speak to what they bring to the table, and because of that we have found ourselves to where we are today. We are not competing with other nations around the world, even though I can honestly say to you, Liberians are some of the brightest in the world. We have some of the brightest minds that you can ever think about, but because we have gotten ourselves involved with this tribal politics of focusing on the issue of popularity and continue to just edit statements and phrases and present it to the voters because of the level of gullibility in our society, we find ourselves to where we are. We are hiring incompetent people to occupy position that I have no idea about. But going forward, again, like he said, let us emphasize on what these candidates are bringing to the table. What are their idea? What is on their agenda to transform Liberia? In this modern dispensation, the 21st century, we should be looking at transformation innovatively. And I know we can do it. But until we can start to look in the direction of hiring competent individuals to get the job done as compared to looking for humanitarians based on popularity or based on tribal lines, we would never get across that borderline. And we must be a part of the process. All of us, it cannot just be selective. All of us must be a part of the process. And I think this is where we continue to hurt ourselves, we continue to hurt our country, and we continue to hurt the people. And just closing up the question I was asked, who benefits from unity or the issue of doing it for Liberia? Let me tell you this. That is a propaganda statement that was coined by the Unity Party because they feel like they want to benefit at this point. It is not for the nation. In general, it sounds good that the people will benefit. We are supposed to benefit if you're looking at it logically, but unfortunately, that is not the case. The Unity Party is using that propaganda statement in order to benefit themselves as compared to benefiting the country as a whole. But it was a great conversation. Thank you.
With Russell, and then uh, Sylvester.
Thank you. It's great being here and good being on the platform with all of you. It's been wonderful. It's always a spirited conversation on the closing argument. So, Dr. Peabody, thanks for moderating and keeping us in check and all of that. I would just close by again saying that look, if you look at the numbers, and if you look at past experiences, and I can vouch for that. I've experienced, some of that, so I can just pull from my own experience. If you look in this country, for example, in the U.S., Donald Trump won over Hillary Clinton, right? But that didn't mean that Donald Trump, and we all know that Donald Trump was ill-prepared and incompetent compared to Hillary Clinton. I mean, there was no question about it. So because you win, because you have the numbers, it doesn't mean that you have what it takes to do the job. So yes, true. There's no question about it that the CDC outperformed the Unity Party. I would say, but it doesn't mean that the CDC has been doing right by the people. Look, I tell you all, on election day, as you remember, Dr. Peabody, you were there. It was a holiday, so the roads were all people went about trying to cast their ballots and all of that. So the streets were all clear, right? So I took this time after my official duties, observing the election, all the different places I went. I drove, and I didn't grow up in Monrovia. I grew up in Nimba. I grew up in Ganta. But I took this opportunity with a guide to drive throughout Monrovia. This was my first time going through the red light area, all those areas, all the way up to Dukal, to the American embassy. Just went throughout to Busherat Island. I mean, it was just free flowing, very easy to get around. I was disgusted and disappointed. The city is demonstrably dirty and filthy. So when I talk about incompetence, and when Brother Julius talk about appointing people who know what they're doing and competent folks, that's part of what we're talking about. You have a country, there are bodies of water all over Monrovia, all over the country, but Monrovia, all over Monrovia. And you have almost 90% of the people in Monrovia don't have access to fresh drinking water, clean drinking water. 42% of our schools, according to UNICEF and WHO, don't have access to clean drinking water. That speaks to incompetence. That's part of what I'm talking about. So you can do all of the roads you're talking about. The roads, they're very narrow. They're poorly built. I think Brother Johnny talked, or either Brother Johnny or Brother Jackson talked about the RRA highway. I mean, you can see the country is begging for leadership. It reeks of incompetence. So the notion that yes, the CDC performed well and people are voting for the CDC doesn't mean that the CDC is properly governing the country. It doesn't mean that many of the folks they have that working for the CDC even know their right from the left, as far as the competency is concerned. So there is no question about it that the Unity Party and the opposition need to work together if they're going to defeat the CDC. There's no question about it. But because the CDC received more votes than the opposition or than the Unity Party, doesn't mean that the CDC is doing right by the people or the CDC is properly governing the country. Thank you.
Sylvester, go ahead. Gotta go.
Let me quickly refute what Mr. Russell is saying. I know that Mr. Russell don't want to come in and name his side. He said he came here as an observer. No, he's not. He's a partisan observer. And he's trying to exhibit his partisan role now here, right, to say there's level of incompetence and the rest of that. Absolutely nothing. All of what he observed, all of what he just enumerated here just these are all misleading, factually incorrect stories he's trying to portray. Now, with the process about we do I'm not here to say that the city government is not getting her job done. The city government is focused with the legal resources that is exposed to them, available to them. They're trying to do other things, showing that to get the thing. Listen, we are struggling ever since after the global this global pandemic. There was some issue here, but to come out and state openly and publicly that the government is incompetent. If there's another worker or the part of surrogate sonning, it repeatedly they say son. So they play the surrogacy role, but they try to play the surrogacy role behind the canopy of being what we refer to as a zebra and the rest of that. The deep state, I mean, the issue about what we went through, the deep state is trying to operate behind the scene to obliterate the process about governance in this country. And we're not going to allow that to happen, right? All of these things are smell campaign. These are the individuals that are trying to smell this thing and bringing in misleading information about what is currently unfolding here. So you don't bring your partisan sentiments to bear here and try to say that the functional level of the state is now on course. Actually, no. How do you think situations are unfolding in this place? There is some deep, honest sense of patriotism that some of us we oblige ourselves to show that we go more deeper into these things. For someone to come and give him information that are far from the reality because you're so sentimental about your son that you don't want to see the regime go some structure through the process. No, it's unfortunate. What I will say from quickly is that we've had a system in this country that we all collectively need to move to. There are certain things that unfold in this country, something we don't never intend to budge. We do because we're very sensitive was very much in line of meandering our way to protecting this very country interest. This president, President Dr. George Weah, is focused on doing those things. But again, that's it. We always have counterproductive elements. And part of their mission is to undermine the state, to portray the government as the government is doing nothing, the government is incompetent. If this government was incompetent, how come the president, now currently the elections results, are gravitating towards the president winning on the first ballot? And he's going to do the same. So it's just like Mr. Russell is contesting for a political process, and he went before the data evaluation. No, Mr. Russell, the people of this wonderful country evaluated the system very well, and they're saying they're going to re-elect President Weah. So that's it. So no one will go for an incompetent leader. No one would do that. I want to believe yourself, and you will accept that. The people are voting for our president because they believe he's able, he's competent, he's responsive, he's a leader. He's never kept the income in a cattle. He brushed the line. Someone said when the no, talk, talking too much cannot solve the problem. The president is an action-oriented element, and as part of his dealing, he's going to commit this country moving forward. He's going to expand the development process. He's going to get engaged with the people of this country. With that, we will collectively move Liberia forward. We will
Right.
catapult the image of Liberia from different perspectives and different sectors of the government policy process. That's what we can do. I was telling my brother last time is also who sat at Paul Karaman shopping is also at Johnny Nebe. Johnny understand the perspective we come from. We are the sons. I'm a son of a traditional leader and a son of a professor. My father taught at the University of Liberia. He impacted knowledge. It's part of our responsibility to come also and inculcate some of what we learned. I learned here. I went to the US and then we come back. But we cannot undermine the country. I know you have everything you have. I know you are a US citizen. That's why you talk too much low of this country. But some of us, we are citizens of this country. Only one citizenship we have. We will go to the US, we will meet our Liberian, our American dream. Part of my American dream was to go to America to school and come back in this country and impact. I will be coming back soon. I will go back to the University of Liberia and serve as a lecturer and impact knowledge. I will not undermine the country, the state. I will not say the country is this way, is that way, because I believe I have a parochial interest in certain level. I wouldn't do that. I will call on you, Mr. Russell, to desist from this kind of a counterproductive tendency. Come and join us to move this country forward. Stop talking about the country negatively. Stop propagating those false rules about the country. We will not sit here and fold our hands and allow people like you disseminate false rule in this country. No, not while we are still alive. We will protect the integrity of this country. We will protect the sovereignty of this country. It is the only country we have. Come on, okay, now go contest a broken pack of position. No, because we are not U.S. citizens. We are citizens of this country. That's why we are here to protect our democracy. And we need to respect that. Thank you very much, Dr. Peabody.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Thank you joining us from Norway. I don't know, it's late. Just I want to give you 1 minute and give you a closing, and then we'll be done, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a great show. Looking forward to be back. The rest of the guy will be joining us tomorrow. Kev, Ben, and Tomalin. Tomalin will not be on. He's on his way to the state tomorrow. But Mr. Jackson, go ahead. Just 1 minute.
Yeah, thank you very much for putting me on the show tonight from this end. And then I hope to have more time to be on the show. But Mr. Pee Wee is using the word competent. We are getting fatigued with it because competency, I mean, it means action. People must see. When somebody is criticizing you, it doesn't mean that the person don't love you. But this is an antibiotic to criticize you, to do the right thing when you are a leader. That's an antibiotic for you to kill the soul. So the soldiers, President Weah, for me, I'm not a supporter of President Weah, but I would never insult him. He's the president of the republic. I will respect him. I will continue to respect him. But I will criticize him constructively and respectfully. I will do that. Now, defending without action, it's a sign of, excuse me, it's a sign of being arrogant. I'm not meaning disrespectful to that, but I'm referring to that. There are a lot of things going on in the country. I agree that President Weah cannot be everywhere, but he needs to be somewhere strategically. He need to have oversight to do some things that he needs to do. So when people are saying that he is incompetent, this and that, I think what you need to do when you're close to him, you're telling yourself, Mr. President, this is what the people are saying out there, So you need to do this, you need to do to correct him. But to just defend and say he's competent, the road are going to so east is closed. He's competent, the road are going to Lofa is closed. He's competent, the country is seeing this array, the drugs. Let's be very realistic. Let's be very realistic. Look, what is the future if all our youth are taking drugs? What is the future that we have? Why the park that he is building, the football field, who will be on it? Well, all those children are taking drugs. I was in Monrovia. I just left from Monrovia the 20th of September. I arrived in Monrovia the 26th of July. I went with some guests. They were the first time from nowhere to go to Liberia. That they arrived in the airport road, they complained. I was so embarrassed until when we got the Royal Hotel before they said, oh, we feel comfortable. But later on, they fell in love with the country. And every day, we talk about the trip. But we all love the country. But if you love a child, if you can't discipline them, then you don't love the child. So if we would be here and be talking about competency or something, we are getting fatigued with that. So we really need to look at that. I want President William to succeed because when he succeeds, we succeed. There are a lot of things, brother. I'll give you an example. When President William got there, I was not a supporter, but I said, okay, he be living abroad, but carry your continue to report. The other group are there that can be tracking the container. They can't even ask for number. How do they track container when they don't ask for number? They only asking for money. We are losing. And when we stop sending containers, see how many Liberians are living in our country that can send. We're trying to do our best for the country. All we want the country to be good for each and every one of us.
Okay.
So if you want people to follow President we are right now, if I were you, I would say, I think I agree with you, we'll talk to the president. But for now, we learn. But say you are not learning, you failed, then you say you passed. How will you? It's difficult. So and
Thank you.
the opposition.
I don't know who are you to evaluate. Who do the evaluation?
Thank you, guys. It's 7 o'clock.
He thinks he more Liberian than others.
Guys, we on the radio. We should be off the radio like now.
No, I said.
All right,
I said,
thank you.
Good night.
Mr. Jackson, thank you.
You bring up continuing the first thing you want to do when you bring continuing by the country. The first thing you want to do when you bring the country to the country, you want to go after
Mr. Jackson,
you
he's in denial.
The exact money for the country. Then you shut blame.
Thank you, guys. We gotta go. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. It was a good show, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
You bring continuing down in the country. You don't want to pay all of your charges. You want to go see how you can beat the continuing price. Then you hold the people at the port. You, the problem also, you don't want to pay your taxes.
Professor, we gotta
Pay
go.
your taxes back in Norway, other area. You pay taxes in Norway, but you come back, you don't pay taxes. It's unfortunate.
That's his MO. As soon as you point out these things, then you try to attack you personally.
Then you shut the blame back to the government. You don't want to pay taxes. Then you say,
I want to vote for you. Then you talking that way.
Learn to pay taxes back.
I want to vote for you. Then you talking that way.
No. That does not start. That's not reality.
Thank you.
No. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's not it. Don't do that. Bye-bye.
Professor, thank you. Have a good one. All right, guys. Thank you for watching The Closing Acumen. And have a great day, guys. And now we gotta go. Gotta go.